A tree is a mystery that opens up to children as they begin watching her closely. How can I draw that branch? How can I draw a cluster of leaves? How can I draw a hanging flower? They wonder with curiosity, warmth, and frustration. At the end of a half-hour class, they've made some wonderful sketches from nature. Some of them have managed to finish coloring. Others promise to finish it later. They tell us that now they know the tree, the plant, the leaf, the vine, the flower. They know where each one of them are, so they can come back and watch them and finish coloring them. Through 3 months, from January to March, we've been watching these children from grades 1 to 5 at Kids Central, observing closely this incredible connection with nature that is so alive in them. We have watched hours of their learning experiences, the magnificence of their sharing, and been witness to things both intangible and tangible. Together, we have marveled, we've been frustrated, we've felt deep sorrow for the environment together. And we have cherished nature in many of her forms and in her wisdom. What began for us as a project in guiding children to connect with nature has become now a project in making their connection with nature visible to adults. As an educator, I find that the act of learning is the most nuanced and most powerful to watch. Sitting in front of young people and listening to them is a humbling experience because you're in front of an abundant treasure that's working like a giant sponge. Especially with the very young children, 5 to 8 years old. They come and hug you, listen to you, talk, show the rawness of their emotions, be it excitement, joy, or sadness. And you can just see the powerful experience of learning taking place in front of you. You can see it in their eyes, in their hands, in their bodies, in their conversations. In the tilt of their head, the tone of their breathing, the sudden silences, the raucous noise. It's always there, this powerful energy of learning. It's private, sacred, and the essence of who we are. These 3 months have been an incredibly rich learning experience for me. My plans for each session have expanded into something much deeper as children brought in the fullness of their hearts, minds, and souls to this project. Our vision was to create a holistic learning experience through powerful arts, media, and writing exercises to guide them in discovering their own passionate voices in connecting to nature. Our work was to deepen their engagement with nature through thoughtful exercises and conversations in the classroom.
The head of the evil spirit gets the dream that all the nature is going to kill him and all the earth is going to kill him. So then he...
Some of the activities we built in were drawing and sketching from nature, writing poems and stories about nature in their environment, making notes from nature, creating posters for advocacy, writing plays and documentary scripts for the 4th and 5th graders, learning more about trees using posters from Nirel gifted by Mrs. Shobha Menon, watching a documentary film by wildlife filmmaker and conservationist Mr. Shekhar Dattatri, writing a personal letter to Mr. Dattatri sharing their reflections on the film along with their questions, reading about the environment and researching from books, internet, and by talking to adults, listening to factual information, stories, folk tales, and metaphysical stories that open children to different directions of connecting with nature, observing nature quietly, reflecting and creating work with the passion and direction that they had found through the project. In every classroom discussion, in the debates and passionate advocacy for different ideas about protecting the environment, in their writing and in their art that we have seen, that we have had the joy of sharing, we have reason to believe that we have had great success. But we wonder what it would take to sustain this connection that they have with nature, these passionate voices they have found. When I go back and remember my own childhood, I believe the depth of my passion for nature comes from those unguarded moments when my parents would take time to show my sister and me their own wonder at the sublime beauty of a flower, leaf, bird, sunrise, moon, night. Life was a struggle then to even make basic ends meet. But they gifted us the expanse of the sky, the flow of water, the graceful dancing of the peacock, the quiet solitude of the tree, and the nurturing of the earth. And they taught us to interpret these moments of wonder and gratitude into poetry, art, dance, music, and grace. Every resource that they could unearth, from books to films, to actual engagement with nature, they brought right into our home. For these gifts, I am deeply indebted to them. And these gifts I bring to my classes to share with children, with young adults, with teachers and others. And these are simple yet abundant gifts. I urge you as teachers and parents to observe your children closely, learning from them, wondering at them, and creating environments where the connection with nature can be protected and nurtured. Continue these exercises in your classes, at your homes. Continue to give them books, show them films, talk to them, take them out on nature walks, help them record their thoughts. And as you watch these photos and videos, As you watch their work, as you watch them, observe that these showcase the wealth of their connection with nature. Think about it. Perhaps you don't know yet how to help with conservation, or perhaps you do. But do take time to find a way to the forests that live within your children's soul. They will lead you back to the forests and the richness of the earth. As you watch their faces, their bodies, we request you to watch the movement of their minds. This great gift of belonging to the earth that they understand and cherish almost unknowingly. As Michael Armstrong writes in his book, Closely Observed Children, how are we to understand the understanding of children? One way of beginning is to examine with careful sympathy the thought and action of the children whom we ourselves are teaching.
I feel we all learned mostly about pollution and how that impacts the environment, and deforestation, how that impacts the environment. I feel that everyone in this class should carry on what we know to everyone else in the world, and if this is possible, then there will be no more pollution in the world, and everything will be how it used to be.
As children sketched from nature, their attention to details, their struggle to observe and slowly discover the beauty of natural forms was a beautiful learning process to witness. In these drawing activities, they were slowly drawn into a quiet, often contemplative and silent space. Even as they would ask us to show them how to draw a branch or a leaf, they would try with patience to repeatedly capture their own vision of the plant or tree. Their papers are filled with both naturalistic and creative drawings. The intensity and focus with which they observed and created their artworks made us wonder how little we value their time and growth, their sense of responsibility and passion, how little we care to nurture silence and compassion in them. As they built the sketching exercise further to incorporate notes and writings about nature in their environment, the connection with nature in their own environment became visible to us. In their simple words, poetry and prose, these children showcase a range of emotions that humbles us, from deep sadness at trees near their house being cut, to the smile that a small plant brings into being. Children have captured an immensity of connection with nature that enriches their own solitude as well as sharing. In our storytelling and reading sessions, children saw, read, and listened to stories by various authors. From Ruskin Bond's humorous story about Grandpa's Zoo to Russian author Mikhailo Kotsyubinsky's The Magic Song, which talks about a little boy finding his song in the forest, to Flute's Journey, The Life of a Wood Thrush by Lynn Cherry, that traces the journey of the bird through seasons, migration, and the cycle of life. Children found many different ways of connecting with nature and talked about similar experiences and feelings that they shared with the authors and illustrators. Matthew's Meadow by Corin Dema was another touching book through which children were exposed to the idea of nature talking to them and teaching them. The Waterhole by Graham Bass, with its richly illustrated animals, gave the younger ones much pleasure. The ethos of reading and researching, sometimes in class and sometimes at home, brought back rich knowledge and thought into the classrooms, especially with fifth graders. The Nurel posters were a great hit with all the kids from all the grades.
When I had chicken pox, I put this, I wrapped it around my body, then half my chicken pox went up and I had scabs on my body.
It has been quite amazing to watch how the posters have shaped their thinking as well as creative processes. The posters especially helped grade 4 fine-tune their areas of interest to trees and protection of trees for their play script. Each of them also created their own version of tree characters who would play a role in this magical and futuristic play. The excitement to read as many posters as possible within the short half-hour time limit was amazing. The posters have also given the kids a chance to look more closely at trees around them, connecting them to their own environment, helping them make new observations, evident in the series of drawings they have done. The very spectacular turning point that we had in our classes was watching Shekhar Dattatri's films. Grades 1 to 5 watched Save Our Sholas. Grade 3 and Grade 5 also watched Point Calamar. Some of the Grade 5 children have watched Mindless Mining, Tragedy of Kudremukh and Truth About Tigers as well. As a teacher, I'm thrilled and touched to discover such depth of understanding and conversation that evolve in the classroom after watching Shekhar's films.
Why are they showing so many negative things? Like, if you keep showing all negative things, won't people not even look at the positive things?
What are you saying are the negative things that
Like, they're showing how all of that is being mined and everything.
Yes.
So they show that they're really yeah. But still, if they show more negative things, can't say, please do it instead of just showing us all the negative things.
Okay, so they showed us all the positive things.
How did I have to save it?
Why they show us positive things and then they're like, okay, fine, who cares?
With Save Our Sholas, the children were fascinated by the water harvesting system, shocked by the mining, curious about how the hornbill stores the fruits to bring it back, among other things. A lot of them thought that the cobra that ate a rat snake was quite cool. All the children across grades were able to grasp the value of the forests, while also understanding that their voices had immense power and they could contribute to saving the earth in their own ways.
Hornbill is getting destroyed because it needs very deep cavities. It needs to live, but because people want to construct roads there, they are burning the forest.
Right.
And the forest fires are destroying the huge trees with deep cavities, so the hornbill is getting it.
The wealth of excitement, joy, and thoughtfulness that the films created in them is visible in the letters and artworks that followed. The passion, joy, and intensity of their observations were a delightful learning experience for me. Watching the films helped children add more details and ideas and create more informed work. All the classes are showing a much deeper understanding of issues surrounding the environment, the beauty of nature, and curiosity to know more about nature. They have a greater awareness of their own environment from when we began 3 months back. There's also a very powerful passion in their voices, which was not very visible earlier. Watching the films have really made a difference to them. And for me personally, it has been so rewarding to teach both creative writing and environment conservation using Shekhar's films. At the end of the project, the most wonderful gift to all of us teachers and children was to have Shekhar Dattatri visiting the school and chatting with the children.
When I make films, I spend months in the forest. Okay? Just like you come to school every day, the forest is my school. So I go every day, and when you go every day, you can watch different things that happen. How do I create a film? It's a long process. First, I go and learn about that forest as much as I can. Obviously, you can't learn everything about it. Then I read everything about it. Then I meet scientists who work in that forest. So once I have a certain amount of knowledge, I write a very rough script. Okay, saying I want to film a hornbill at its nest. I want to eat a king cobra eating another snake. Now, at that moment, I don't know what I'll get. Right? It's a matter of luck. So then I go into the forest and I spend months, sometimes up to 2 years, with my camera. And sometimes I just stay in the forest for many, many days at a time. And every morning I wake up at 5 o'clock, wander through the forest, and come back to my camp only at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. And I keep on filming. So once all the filming is done, I spend maybe 6 months with my computer editing the film. I might take 25 hours of material, and then I bring it all down. I choose the best and put it into 1 hour or 30 minutes or something, and then put music, put a commentary, put natural sounds, and then I show it to you guys. Other than that, all of you can learn more about nature. Now there are lots of nice books available. There are nice programs on Discovery and Animal Planet and National Geographic. Lots of internet sites are there. You must learn more and more about nature, because only if you learn about nature and about conservation, you can go and tell other people. Because lots of people are ignorant. They don't know. So they need people like us to learn and go and tell them. Right? So that's something that you can do when you're here. And finally, you can all take up some nice hobby, like bird watching. You don't have to go to a big jungle to watch birds. Birds are everywhere all around us. But if you don't know bird watching, then every bird is the same. You might know maybe crow, myna, parakeet. But just in Chennai, there are probably about 75 species of birds. That's a lot, right? And for bird watching, you don't need very much. You just need a pair of binoculars, small pair of binoculars. You need a notebook, and you need a field guide. You don't need a camera. Okay, if you have a camera, that's great, but you don't need a camera. You just need a bird field guide. You get this in Landmark and other places. You can get a nice field guide to birds. So you get a small one, and all the common birds will be there, and it will show you how to identify the birds. Because every bird has many parts. Okay, and by seeing the beak size, leg size, color of the head, color of the neck, color of the eye, you can learn to identify birds. Because every bird has a name. There's some 1,300 types of birds in India. Right? And wherever you go, even on holidays, you go somewhere to your uncle's house in Bombay or Bangalore or your auntie's house somewhere else, you can watch birds there and make a list of those birds also. Right? So take up bird watching as a hobby. You can do that on Saturday, Sunday. You can sit in your garden and watch birds. Maybe even from here, if you look through the window, maybe you'll be lucky and see a bird. And even crows are very interesting to watch. We look at crows and say, oh, they're dirty black birds. But actually, crows are extremely interesting if you watch them. So take up bird watching as a hobby, and slowly you'll start learning about nature.
Have you taken a bath in the waterfalls?
Yes, I have, and it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. It's cool water, and it's falling down with a lot of force, so it feels like a nice massage on your shoulders. You wash your hands, switch it off. When you're putting soap, switch off the tap. Your taps are leaking, Tell your parents the tap is leaking, because even if a tap is leaking 1 drop of water per minute, just imagine how many minutes there are in a day. How many liters of water are getting wasted. So you've got to tell your parents, look, that tap is leaking in that bathroom. Put a washer, call the plumber and fix it. Right? It's very...
We are deeply indebted to Shekhar for sharing his films with us for the project, for the range of resources that he has created through films and websites, his warmth of sharing and listening to ideas, for taking the time to come and talk to these children. All of these have helped in enriching this project in so many ways. For a long time, children had been pestering me, asking me questions about the filmmaker. And as they got an opportunity to ask him questions, they revealed their curiosity about filmmaking as well as forests. And in that, Shekhar's visit, I believe, made the forests real to them, as they found yet another connection to many feelings and questions that had been intangible for them as they watched the films. In Kids Central, where children are nurtured in an environmentally conscious ethos and an interdisciplinary project-based methodology, they're learning about habitats, ecosystems, global warming, endangered species, and other issues in their science, math, social sciences, and language studies. In this context, a creative writing project on the environment became a wonderful supplement where we were able to expand student thinking and approach to understanding environmental issues, guiding them to find their own voices within it. I'm thankful to all the teachers at Kids Central who added into the conversations and ideas, who built learning and working cultures in the classroom with me, who shared and witnessed many of these incredible moments, who continuously strive to create a rich learning environment for these children, who are open to sharing ideas and who are willing to take so many extra steps to make things work. And to Srilekha, my student, who has worked with the children, documented the entire process through photos and videos, and who has worked with me editing this video, I owe much. In watching the children, I believe she has found a deeper connect to herself and to nature. Some of their project work is complete. Some of it is still under progress. Their work is very special. It comes from a very deep place within their heart, and in many ways comes from a very vital exchange of energies with nature. The amount of perseverance, hard work, thought, and reflection that have gone into their projects are immeasurable, intangible, and truly a remarkable gift to all of us adults. I have been witness to incredible moments of learning, sharing, and sorrow. I've been touched and overwhelmed so many times over these 3 months, watching the subtle and powerful connection that children have with nature, this seamless flow of energy that connects nature and them, that they simply tune into without reserve. And I have so much more in my memories that I wish I could spend hours talking to you about. These children have brought such richness into my life with their trust to share their learnings and emotions with me. I care deeply for the sacredness that they hold within themselves, in such innocence and beauty. We believe we love our children. We bring them into this earth because we believe we want to nurture them. But if we are not nurturing their trees, their rivers, their forests, their animals and birds, their biodiversity, do we really love them? For when we do not care for our wildlife, the delicate balance of nature, we destroy not only nature, but the expanse of our children's minds, the flexibility of their bodies. We destroy in our own mindless living their wonder, their wealth of curiosity, dreams to explore, their desire to connect, their sense of exhilaration, their source of healing. We destroy their ability to feel, reflect, contemplate, and find the beauty of silence. We destroy their passion to make a difference. As Andy Goldsworthy, sculptor, photographer, and environmentalist, rightly says, we often forget that we are nature. Nature is not something separate from us. So when we say that we have lost our connection with nature, we have lost our connection with ourselves.